Hello ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to Black Falls today. Today I'm not going to do a live audio recording on the track, and that's because I wanted to have a chat with you guys about something. I want to tell you a story. Here's the story. A couple weeks ago, one of the assistants at my office had to go home, and she felt dizzy at the time. And she went home, stayed home for several days, and the dizziness didn't improve. In fact, got quite a bit worse, to the point where she wasn't able to sleep very well, she couldn't eat, she was having trouble really functioning in her daily life. So she went to her doctor, and the doctor, of course, not really knowing what might be the cause, referred her to a specialist, figuring that she had vertigo. And if you don't know what vertigo is, and I really don't know what it is, I believe it's some sort of an inner ear infection or virus or something like this that can cause you to become quite dizzy and nauseated and so forth. So they sent her to, I believe, an ear, nose, and throat specialist to see if they could figure out what was going on. And she went to the specialist, had some tests done, and was examined, and they didn't know. They couldn't figure out what the cause was. So a few days later, she was referred for an emergency MRI. And unfortunately, the results came back that she had a tumor in her brain. And not only a tumor in her brain, she had a tumor in her breast, and she had a tumor in her lung. And there's another one that's on her back that they haven't determined exactly what it is just yet, but they're biopsying it. So she has brain cancer, she has breast cancer, and she has lung cancer. And this was something that obviously, I say, snuck up on her. She was functioning as well as anybody else for the time leading up to this. They're not sure exactly where the cancer originated, whether it was originally a lung cancer or brain cancer, breast cancer, whatever. But the fact is that she's got cancer presumably metastasized across her body, which is not a good thing if you know anything about cancers. The reason I'm even mentioning this, guys, is because I think a lot of us, and men in particular, were horrible for this. We don't go to the doctor on a regular occasion for checkups. We don't go for physicals. We have aches and pains that we ignore and chalk up to, daily aches and pains or something regular. And we end up dead because of that. You have to realize that when you don't take proper medical attention of your body, you're going to end up dead from some surprise disease eventually. And I wanted to stress this because some of you may know Total Biscuit. John Bain, I believe, is his real name. He's a huge YouTuber. I'm sure you've heard of him before. John and I first encountered each other many, many years ago when he was still doing WoW Radio podcasting. I had done a visual video for a show called On the Cards and pitched it to him. Loved the idea, but we never did get it off the ground because doing the animations for it took forever. The podcast was 20 minutes long of a game that he broadcast, and doing the graphics for the animation took me 36 hours, so we didn't do it. In any event, this is a digression. The reason I want to talk about Total Biscuit is because, as some of you may be aware, about a year ago, John had some issues with his digestive system, and those issues were that he had colorectal cancer. So John underwent radiation, chemotherapy, many surgeries, and when I heard about it, when I heard that he had been diagnosed with cancer, I said to myself, man, John is 2 years younger than I am, and he has colorectal cancer. When you think about rectal cancer, colon cancer, you're thinking of dudes that are 65 plus, right? When you see it happen to a guy that's 30 years old, you start looking in the mirror and saying to yourself, man, I'm older than he is. What's my issue for not getting checked? So I went to the doctor after I heard that he had this, and I had some issues with my digestive system since I was a little kid, so having that was nothing new. But anyway, I had told my doctor that I did have a family history of colon cancer and that I would like to get the test done. So they do a test, and lo and behold, I test positive on this test. Now, this doesn't mean that I had cancer, but it does mean that I had bleeding somewhere in my intestinal tract. So given the family history and the bleeding in the intestinal tract, I was scheduled in for colonoscopy. For those of you that don't know what a colonoscopy is, you're about to find out. And a colonoscopy is essentially them shoving a 6-foot camera up your butt to take pictures of the inside of your intestines, your colon, your rectum, everything. And I was scared to death. I mean, at this point, you know, I had had some symptoms that present themselves when you have colon cancer, and tested positive on this test. I was, you know, in fear of my life that I had colon cancer too, just like John had. So I waited and waited for the colonoscopy to be scheduled, and you know, it's the Canadian medical system, so the wait times were a little longer than maybe you would get if you were paying privately. But I had in to get a colonoscopy within a month. So if it was cancer, it didn't have a ton of time to spread in the meantime. And the preparation for a colonoscopy, if you haven't had it yet. And you will eventually. Everybody over 55 is getting them these days as a preventative measure. The prep for a colonoscopy is excruciating. It's not painful, but it is disgusting. So you drink a liquid, and it makes you go to the bathroom very, very frequently. And when I say very, very frequently, what I really mean is constantly, for several hours at a time. So grab a book and sit down and enjoy your day, because you're not leaving the bathroom. You do this until you basically run clear, and then you're ready to go for your colonoscopy. So the day comes, I go for my colonoscopy, and they have an anesthesiologist there. They're going to knock me out for it. And the anesthesiologist is talking to me about you know, what drugs he's going to be giving me, and the gastroenterologist starts talking to me about my family history and those sorts of things. And next thing you know, I woke up in the recovery room. I had no recollection of even being sleepy or knocked out or anything. And it turns out that I was just fine. There wasn't even any precancerous polyps or anything like that. And the reason I'm sharing this with you guys is because you need to go do this kind of shit. Don't think, hey, I'm 25 years old, I'm feeling pretty damn good, I don't need to go to the doctor. You need to go to the doctor. Don't wait. Cancer does not discriminate as far as age is concerned. Anybody of any age can get cancer. Yes, you're more likely to get it when you're older, but would you rather not catch it super, super early so you've got a fighting chance of surviving it? I know I did. I mean, as much as it was scary to go through what I had to go through last summer, and I can't even imagine what John went through when he had his procedure, and knowing that you had cancer and not knowing whether or not you were going to be okay. Right now he's in remission, so don't freak out, but you know, it could come back at any time. And you know what? Colon cancer in particular is extremely preventable. Not only extremely preventable, 100% preventable with regular colonoscopies, because cancer in the colon forms with precancerous polyps, which if removed will never develop into cancer. So there's if you need more reason than that, guys, you can 100% prevent a form of cancer, I believe. Anyway, don't quote me, I'm not a doctor. But any event, I'm going to wrap this up now. I'm rambling on just a little bit. You know, this lady that from my office, she's about 50 years old. She has kids. She has a husband. You know, this is not something that she really needs to go through. I mean, nobody needs to go through this. If she had gone for regular medical checkups, if she had taken a bit better care of herself, she was a smoker, she was overweight, maybe she could have prevented this. There's one thing in life that you cannot get back once it's gone, and that's your health. You know, if you've got a job that's stressing you out, that's causing you grief, that's causing you to be ill on a daily basis, get the hell out of there. Without your health, you've got nothing. You really don't. You think you can get up and enjoy your day when you're bleeding in your intestines and you're vomiting? Guys, health is number one before anything. Family, health, love people, be kind to each other. Those are the things you need to learn about life. Get to the doctor, get checked, guys. That's all I have to say about it. Anyway, that's it for the day, guys. I hope I didn't ramble too much. I hope you might find something positive in this. If it even helps one person catch cancer early, then I've done my job. That's going to be it for the day, guys. Thanks very much. Bye-bye.